I'm George Hutton, and you are listening to the Mind Persuasion Podcast. Today we continue our study of weaponized hypnosis. For more information, please visit mindpersuasion.com/weaponized-hypnosis. Today's fully written story is called Memory Wipe. Part 1, Stories in their Natural Order. Story 1, TV Show About False Confessions. 1A, TV Show About False Confessions. 1B, Police Are Experts. 1C, Bring a Guy In, Say It's Low Key. 1D, But Then He Confesses. 1E, And That's All They Need to Do to Send Him Away for Life. Story 2, Study of the Human Mind. 2A, Our Conscious Mind is Really Weak. 2B, Experiments Show It's a Lagging Indicator. 2C, It Only Knows What's Going On After Something Happens. 2D, They Have a Lot of Experimental Evidence. 2E, Scientists Aren't Sure What That Means. Story 3, Human Memory is Frail. 3A, Most Memories Are False or Incomplete. 3B, Studying for Tests is Hard. 3C, Eyewitness Testimony is the Weakest. 3D, Even watching the same movie is hard to remember. 3E, Humans forget stuff all the time. Story 4, Personality is False. 4A, Most of what we think of ourselves is false. 4B, All of our memories are false. 4C, All of our experiences are false. 4D, What we think about ourselves is false. 4E, Our entire personality is a hallucination. 2. Stories in the Order to Tell. 1A, TV Show About False Confessions. 1B, Police Are Experts. 1C, Bring a Guy In, Low Key. 2A, Conscious Mind is Weak. 2B, Lagging Indicator. 2C, Only Experience Things After the Fact. 3A, Most Memories Are False. 3B, Studying for Tests is Hard. 3C, Eyewitness Testimony is Weakest. 4A, Most of our memories are false. 4B, Most of our experiences are false. 4C, Most what we think is based on false information. 4D, Our own self-perception is false. 4E, Everything is a hallucination. 3D, Watching the same movie is hard. 3E, We forget things all the time. 2D, Lots of evidence. 2E, Scientists don't know what's what. 1D, After a few hours he confesses. 1E, That's all they need to do to send him away for life. 3. Word-for-word script. R, Anchor. SP, Self-point. I watched this really disturbing TV show on false confessions. I mean, it wasn't on false confessions. That's the idea they wanted to leave in the viewer's mind. I guess for legal reasons, they can't really call it false confessions because they'll get in trouble, R. But the way the cops work is really powerful. I mean, these cops are experts, right? I mean, that feeling of fear when you see the police lights behind you, R, and you feel, R, that you are about to get in trouble, R. Imagine that. Multiplied by 100. I mean, imagine, R, sitting with a cop in a small room. You can't leave, even though it's supposed to be relaxed and informal. You can't help but feel trapped, R. But our conscious minds are really weak. I mean, we think we are in charge, but in reality, our conscious minds don't really know what's going on until after it happens. It's almost like we have to wait and see, R, what happens before we know what happens. They've done a lot of studies and it makes them feel really confused, R. But the best way they say is the conscious mind is a lagging indicator, meaning that even just sitting there listening to me talk, you're really watching something that's already happened. Doesn't that make you feel totally helpless, R, right? But they say that most of our memories are false anyway. I mean, when you think about that, R, it totally makes sense that nothing we remember is really true. I mean, whenever you studied for a test, you found it hard to remember. I mean, you just sat there, R, trying to think, but you only had a blank mind, like your mind is empty, SP now. And when they have court trials, the eyewitness is the weakest link. I mean, the experts know that if you were to remember something, it wouldn't be correct. You would just remember whatever they told you, R, to remember, and it would feel like the truth. I mean, anything feels like the truth. But the deeper point is that your entire personality is made up of the same memories. I mean, all the stuff you think is true about yourself really isn't, since none of your memories are true anyway, right? So the idea of who you really are, since it's made up of false memories, that means that you are just a hallucination. Like your whole idea of your personality is just a hallucination that you can only experience this R. Is very confusing, right? Especially when you try to remember R, all of this, and all you can do is feel a sense of vagueness R. Everything starts to mix all your memories together R. But when you see the same movie over and over, there are all kinds of stuff you didn't notice, which couldn't happen unless you have a really weak memory R, right? I mean, we forget things R all the time. We try to remember things, but we can't really experience how weak our minds are, since everything is a hallucination anyway, and we just totally forget everything R. But in test after test, they show that the conscious part of the brain is the last part to light up when they change different parts and see what parts are activated. The conscious mind is always the last to know. But the same thing happens every time. They bring some poor guy in there, and he says he doesn't know anything about it, but then 5-6 hours later, that same guy is saying, yeah, I totally did it. I decided to kill them R, to rob them R, to do whatever you tell me I did. And that's how so many people are in jail for confessing to things that they can't even remember. I am George Hutton. Thank you for listening to the Mind Persuasion Podcast. For more information, please visit mindpersuasion.com/weaponized-hypnosis. I look forward to speaking with you again soon.